Beginning of the live stream, so I'll wait a few minutes for people to come in. Then I'll pull out my selfie stick to put the camera on, I mean the mobile phone on, and then the teaching will begin. So please, for those who are coming in, let me know that you're in the live chat, please. Thank you very much. For some of you, maybe afternoon, like for me. With others, it may already be night, or maybe it's morning with you. Anyway, wherever you are, welcome to this live stream. I'm Henri Dasset, or as many of you may know me, Rashid. So please come in, let me know you're there. I'm going to put this mobile phone on the selfie stick soon and walk around recording for you. And I'll explain the topic very soon, but please just come in the live chat first. Let me know if you're here in the live chat, please. Thank you very much. It's a warm, sunny day today. It's a bit cloudy, but I don't see any heavy gray clouds of rain, so that's good. That's why I'm dressed like this today. With my short trousers, or short pants, whatever noun you prefer. I have my little hat over here, just in case. So Suzanne is here. Okay. See one thumbs up. Thank you very much. The rest can show themselves in live chats too. I'll wait 2 more minutes before I begin. On the 4-minute mark, I'll begin teaching. I have enough battery on this phone, so that's not an issue. Hold on. Praise the Lord. His name is good. He's good. He's good to be praised. There's no one like him. Amen. So, all right. 1 more minute. Azaj is here. Elephant Room Studios here also. Praise God. So the bus is departing. The metro is standing still over there. Hold on, let me go. Yeah, I don't know why. But okay. There's a gym right next to me here. But I'm not attending that one. It's not open 24/7, so what the heck is this? Well, okay. Another thumbs up, thank you very much. I think it's time to pull out my selfie stick over here. I'm gonna put the phone on it. 1 moment, please. 1 moment. Don't worry, I'm about to begin soon. All right, so okay. All right, so yes, I'm sorry, I'm past the 4-minute mark, but okay, I'll just begin with the teaching. Well, the topic of the day is recycled controversies. Now, what is a controversy? Let me know in the live chat, please. All right, that's good. What is a controversy? Please tell me. I can see the live chat, so okay. Should be able to hear me much better right now. Uh, Someone says the clash between the believers and non-believers. Someone says a difference of opinion with a question mark. Okay. A controversy is an uncomfortable situation that people don't want to acknowledge. That's what a controversy is. For example, let's say now that someone actually robbed a shop when he was 15 years old, and he didn't get any prison sentence nor any fine for it. And today that guy is a politician. Okay? But here's the thing. Other guys who were 15 years old who robbed a shop got a small prison term and a criminal records. Why didn't he get it? That's a controversy. Because it reveals some inequality in the community that people don't want to admit is there. Or let's say now that there was this domestic violence case in which the woman ended up killing her husband. Now you may ask yourself, why did the woman end up killing her husband? Well, she was asking for help for years because she even tried to leave the man twice, but the man always filed in a missing persons report and the police brought her back to the husband. The husband even faked as if she had mental illness and she couldn't take care of herself. And a lot of people believed the husband, while the signs were obvious she was being domestically abused. One day she snapped and killed her husband when he tried to lay hands on her again in an active way. Now, this is a controversy, because you're going to think, how is it possible that all those adults were not able to see that this woman was being domestically abused? So to admit that there's a cover-up is a controversy, because it will spark a lot of conflict. A controversy is a situation that people don't want to address, because the moment you address the issue, a lot of conflict will emerge. That's a controversy. So, anytime there's a controversy, there's something people want to hide. If they didn't want to hide something, it wouldn't be a controversy. Just like an example just used about that domestic violence victim who snapped and killed her perpetrator. Now people are upset with her. But why are they upset with her? Because of her snapping on the perpetrator, now they need to deal with the fact that the population allowed something bad to happen. Now, the children who grow up are going to ask questions about the incident, and if the adults have to answer, it will make them look bad. So they want to hide something. But that's the thing with a controversy. In a controversy, you want to hide something, but it's very difficult to hide it, because the evidence is all over the place. If the evidence was not all over the place, it would just become a cover-up. The difference between a cover-up and a controversy is that in a controversy, the evidence is in your face. Or said the proof is in your face. The difference between evidence and proof. You can have proof that someone has robbed a bank, for example. You can have that. But the proof concludes it happened. All right? There's no doubt about it. But if you have evidence that someone robbed a bank, then you don't know for sure. For example, you may have evidence that Ari Dossett is going to the gym, right over there, because you saw him near the gym. You saw me with a bag with sport clothes. So you say, aha, I saw him in the back with sport clothes, I saw him near the gym, so he went to the gym. No, I just had the bag with sports clothes because I was about to hand over that bag to my cousin. So you seeing me near the gym with a bag with sports clothes, that's evidence, but it's not proof that I actually went to the gym myself. So evidence is just information that makes something likely. Proof It's the conclusion that something has happened. Okay? Now, with a controversy, the proof is in your face. You get me? And because the proof is in your face, there's no evidence that you can come up with that can say otherwise. If something is covered up, that means the proof is not in your face and people can easily believe the bullshit story. But when the evidence is in your face, the proof, is in your face, and people don't want to admit something, it becomes the elephant in the room scenario. And in such a scenario, you have a tense situation. Okay, so this is a sport field behind me, right over there. Okay? What if there was a big elephant or a giraffe, some type of exotic animal on the sports field right over here? What, and let's say there was an elephant or a giraffe or some exotic animal on the sports field here, and I would film it live, and people see it. What do you think the reaction of people will be? Just let me know in the live chat. I can see the live chat from here. Thanks for the other 2 thumbs ups, whoever gave them. What would the reaction be if on those sports fields that I just showed you, there were exotic animals just just roaming around, and someone would film it and put it online? What do you think the reaction would be from the public? I'll give you 1 more minute to answer, and then I'll continue. All right? Oh, hold on. Yes, just stopping. It's more quiet around here. Yeah, so it would be a shock, okay? Why would it be a shock? Because it's not something common. If I'm at the zoo and I film exotic animals, people would say, okay, that's obvious. Because it's a zoo. And at the zoo, they transport exotic animals to show to the public. So, if you film an exotic animal at the zoo, or at a safari park, or play in the wild jungle, of course we'll say, of course you can see an exotic animal over there. But on sports fields that's artificially made with artificial grass, near in a town or a city, people are going to think, how did that creature end up there, just like that? And those creatures are quite big, so you can't tell me it just appeared out of nowhere. So, in that case, people need to ask themselves. People need to ask themselves, what is going on over here? And the moment they need to ask themselves what's going on over here, it's very obvious. There was some type of robbery that went wrong, and now, as a result, the animals are on the loose. So some operation hidden somewhere went wrong, and now people need to figure out what was the operation. But even if they don't know exactly how the animals ended up there, they still need to deal with, like, okay, we have those animals over here, we don't belong over here, so we need to clean this thing up. Okay, but who is going to catch the tiger? Who's going to catch the elephant? Who's going to transport them? Who's going to finance all of this? And what do we do with them after we capture them? So that's an example of a controversy. A controversy is an uncomfortable situation that's in your face because the proof is out there. You can't deny it. But the moment you recognize what's in your face, you have to actually get involved. So, when there's a controversy in a community, there's a public agenda to cover it, to distract the masses. When there's a controversy going on in a community, it becomes on the public agenda, so people will desire for some distraction. And normally the public generates distraction by themselves through gang stalking. As I explained before, Gang stalking is a coping and survival mechanism of the crowds where they put all the negative attention or negative focus on a victim for the long term, just to prevent the controversy from being mentioned. I've explained that. So, this also means that when the public fails in gang stalking their target, that politicians get involved. Now it becomes part of the political agenda. Things don't just become part of the political agenda just like that. Things become part of the political agenda when the public fails in the gang stalking activity. So, if you notice that in the local politics there are a lot of weird decisions being made, now you know what's going on. The public failed in gang stalking. Now, we know that when the public fails in gang stalking, naturally will be meltdowns because all the psychic tension that are going to discharge on the victims is going to harm them. And then the politicians don't want to have meltdowns, so they quickly come in with their political schemes just to divert attention further away. But a lot of people don't notice that that's what politics is meant to do. Politics is meant to cover up the gang stalking as, let me say this, politics covers up two controversies. The primary thing the public wants to hide, that means their own neglect, and secondary, their scapegoating they're using to cover up their primary controversy. So politics are covering up two layers of controversy. The primary thing that people want to hide, namely their own neglect, and secondly, their coping mechanism, which is scapegoating. Once you understand this about politics, you will understand better the decisions they're making. Because if you still think that politics is about governing the people, then you're out of your mind. Look, there's a difference between an administration and politics. The United States of America is an administration that claims that area, that landmass of the earth. Okay? And this administration is divided in sub-administrations called states. Okay? So the United States of America is an administration. Okay? That's what it is. So the way you administer the public living in that area, that's called government. Okay? So government and politics are two different things. Most people don't understand this. They confuse the two. Government is when you administer goods and services to the public. So it's not business-based to make interest. Just you administer in the material and non-material resources of a community. That's government. Politics is when you use an administration or you use even a business for that sake to justify a certain claim. So, politics have to do with claims you seek to justify. Government has to do with administering material and non-material resources. So, when you look at Joe Biden, you're not looking at government, you're looking at politics. Government are the civil servants working for the public. That's government. Politics are political figures who are out there to carry out an agenda. And their job is to convince the masses to get along with their agenda. So do you understand the difference between politics and government now? Because this is a difference that many people don't understand. And when you don't understand this difference, it's very easy for you to be deceived. So every 4 years, when people from the United States or from any other country go to vote, that's politics. It's not government, it's politics. Why? Everyone wants something, and that's something they want. They can't do it on their own, so they need others to act out the agenda for them. That's why you have political parties, okay? Those parties are there for you to sponsor. You sponsor a party, and the party carries out what you want as a group. But the party has to collide with other groups collectively to get something done, because the party in itself cannot achieve the thing you want. So it's very obvious that political parties are not government. They're just that, politics. They just measure what people want. It does not mean that what people want is justified. Maybe people want all migrants out of the country, okay? That may be a desire of a lot of people. But for them to pick up a gun and put it to the heads of migrants, tell them, get out of my country, that's not going to work. That's going to escalate. So now you have this political party that says, oh, we want more jobs for our own people. They're not going to say, we want all migrants out of our country. They're not going to say that. That's way too obvious, and that will backfire. So the political party will have this leader of the party which will say, we want more jobs for our own people, so we need to put stronger visa regulations. They will say it indirectly, but it comes down to the same thing. They want migrants out, or they want foreigners out. So once this happens and more people validate this political party, now they turn it into a political agenda and how to make it difficult on foreigners. And once the administrators follow the political party and make things hard on foreigners, when the foreigners complain, they will say, hey, but this is what the people want. And indeed, the administrators in the administration, they act out what the political parties want. And if you want to attack the administration, you'll have to attack the whole people, because it's the people that enable it. So politics is where the controversies of the masses are acted out. Okay? So, anytime you vote for any political figure, you're not investing in government. You are participating in a controversy. That's what you're doing. Politics is a conflict without physical weapons. That's really what it is. If you want to describe politics a certain way, I'll just describe it to you. Politics, okay, let's see if I can sit down over here. Yes, I can. Let's see if I miss any questions over here. Anytime you vote for a political party, or anytime you vote for a regional election in your area, you are participating in a conflict. So I don't care what that political party, or I don't care what that fraction is promising to do. Most of the time they're not even able to carry out their agenda anyway. Anytime you choose to support one wing, whether it's the left wing or the right wing, it's the same person you're enabling. You are enabling a conflict. Now look, you can vote out of symbolic reasons, saying, hey, the thing I could do is vote and I did it, and so leave me alone. I contributed. You can use voting as a symbolic weapon to tell people I did my part. Sometimes that's wise, but just know your vote is not what changes anything. It doesn't. Because all politics is all about acting out the conflicts of the masses. You can choose not to vote, that's perfectly fine. But the issue is, if you don't vote at all, the public will hold it against you, saying, hey, you can't change the government, but at least you could, when you had the opportunity to influence the government, should have influenced it. Even on symbolic level, you didn't do anything, so shut up. So when you don't vote, it can close doors for you to speak out about stuff. That's the only reason I voted. I couldn't vote last time for the Netherlands because I was in Korea, and The Dutch embassy didn't even inform me about elections in the Netherlands, so I was thinking, fine. So that's the thing. Just like Twitch is saying here, we are compelled by the crowd to participate in the conflict. That's it. Now the conflicts, because it's not only one conflict. Let me say there's one primary conflict, that is that they don't submit to the Heavenly Father. But that is the root conflict of other conflicts. Now, when there are conflicts in the community, when controversies are here and there, it's going to cause a meltdown. And politics come in to hinder the meltdown. That's it. That's it. Politics is all about hindering a meltdown. It's not about solving anything nor helping anyone out. Again, you can have an administration without politics, okay? If you have your own business, you can have your own administration office for that business, okay? Because politics can also take place outside of government. Politics can also take place in, let me say, within a sexual relationship, for example. You have, for example, the wife who wants to have sexual control over the husband, okay? And if the husband does not give in to her emotional tantrums, he gets no sex. So she is actually hiding her own issues by trying to control her husband. So controlling her husband sexually is her way of coping with her youth traumas. So her youth traumas are a controversy that she doesn't want to face. So she compensates with it by having a meltdown on her husband from time to time. So that's also politics. So you have a lot of politics in sexual relationships also. You can also have politics, for example, in a business. Let's say you work at Wendy's, or you work at McDonald's, or you work at Popeyes, or at British Petrol, or Microsoft, wherever you work. At the office, there may be some colleagues of yours or fellow employees who form their groups and they don't want to deal with other people. For example, it can be that at the workplace you have the European employees sticking together and all minorities end up having to deal with one another. So the Europeans are segregating on the workplace. Now, according to the rule, you're all employees, you can all be fired anytime, but still you see that the European employees are kind of praised more than the minorities. Now, this is a controversy, and this is politics. So as for politics, the owner of the business may appoint someone from a minority background as a manager, just to hide the fact that there's racist segregation going on in the workplace. So politics is just a way to delay a meltdown. Politics is all about delaying meltdowns. And in politics, you seek to justify a position that can't be justified. That's it. So what you see is that society is all about recycling controversies. Hold on. Someone asked, is there a way not to attend to conflict? Well, there is. Okay, symbolic voting is something you can do. Saying, hey, I voted, leave me alone. Or you can also say, you know what? I'm not into politics. I'm into, I'm into doing other stuff. The way you avoid being part of the conflict is by being economically relevant yourself. Because this is what you need to understand here. Okay, I'm going to walk now again, so I said enough. Because it's like this. The conflict is there because people don't want to face the issues of the community, right? When you are economically relevant and you are contributing to solutions here and there in the community, people's mouths are shut. You get me? Let's say now you're not voting, but at the same time you are running an orphanage, or at the same time you are teaching online on how to deal with sexual issues. If you are contributing to any level of solution by yourself or with a group of people, now this is sufficient to shut people's mouths. It is. So that's another way you can avoid participating in the conflict. So that's how you deal with it. That's how you stay out of it. The thing is, when you are not economically relevant and when you're not active in a constructive way in the community, you are sucked in automatically in the conflict. That's how simple it is. And that's the thing a lot of people don't understand. If you don't participate on any level of solution, you are part of the conflict. As simple as that. So what a lot of people do, simply refuse to acknowledge the conflict or just don't want to be bothered. That's narcissistic. And here's another thing. Someone asked in the live chat, how can I not participate in a conflict? Okay, I understand. When politics is going on and all of that, you may not want to be involved because you know it's a deception. But hold on, you should be involved in looking and participating in a solution for the original issues they're avoiding. Because it's very simple. It's because the public's avoiding the root issues that you have this conflict that we call that ends up in politics. So for you to say, I don't want to be involved, I just want to be left alone, that itself is a problematic way of thinking. And it's a problematic way of thinking a lot of people have. A lot of people have this problematic way of thinking, oh, I just want to be left alone, or just want to go to work, come home, spend time with family, this, that. No. You are in a community. So the community can expect you to show tribute to the community. That's natural. However, you don't have to participate in their controversies. That's the difference. And the way you stay out of a controversy is by you having your own activity going for you. So make sure you at least, hold on. So make sure you at least have some hobbies. Maybe you like to, I don't say, play basketball. And you'll be thinking, Rashid, what does sports has to do with avoiding controversy? I'll explain to you. Let's say you like playing basketball, and you're very good in playing basketball. You can show your basketball skills online or just somewhere, and you have young people wanting to come near you and play basketball with you. And that's how you have social influence. And by you playing basketball with a lot of the people, eventually you will develop social ties. And by developing social ties, eventually, not immediately, but eventually, you are contributing to social harmony just by doing what you love to do, playing basketball. So that can be one example of how you can avoid participating in a controversy. You get me? So having at least your own hobbies is one way to divert being part of a controversy. And by the way, I know that in sports there's also politics going on. I know that. But sports officially became the area where people could just be human without being sucked up into controversies. You get me? There's no such thing as being neutral, okay? When there are issues in a community, everyone should attend to the issues to participate in a solution. That's it. So the whole idea of saying, I want to be left alone, leave me alone, that's narcissistic, that's contributing to the problem. It's because worldlings want to be left alone all the time. It's because they always want to flee. That's why you have all those conflicts, or that's why you have all those issues that escalate, that turn into controversies. So the controversies are there because the public doesn't want to face the issues of the community. You may say, oh, it didn't happen to me, or it didn't affect me, so it's none of my problem, none of my issue. It is your issue because it happens in the community. At some point, it's going to affect everyone around. Now, the thing is, you don't have to play basketball. It can also be that you love to make photographs, or use some type of hobby, or use some type of free time activity for you to prosper in. And by prospering in that free time activity, you are able to show an alternative. Because the reason why you have controversies is because people are avoiding community responsibility. Now, by you offering some free time activity, you will actually offer some type of social bonding to the public that will benefit the public eventually. For example, comic books. Those that love to draw comic books. A whole industry emerged of comic books. And those comic book heroes became cultural icons that inspired people. Now, I'm not saying that later on politics didn't become a part of it also, but still, those that love to draw comics, they end up bringing forth a whole industry or a whole branch where they could offer alternative views to the public. So you cannot say, you cannot have this attitude. Oh, I just want to be left alone. Leave me alone. I just don't want to deal with this. You have to deal with the issues in your community. And because worldlings want to deal with the issues, it ends up into controversies that's going to explode. The neglect becomes explosive. That's true. You cannot undo the bad behavior of worldlings, because worldlings are the ones with the bad behavior. You can't change what's in their head. You can't do that. What you can do is operate in such a constructive way that it ends up being shut down locally. That is what you can do. Hold on, let's see where I'm going. No, I'm going over here. So, that's how you avoid participating in a controversy. And that's how you avoid being sucked into the left versus the right, liberal versus Democrat, Democrat versus Republican. You avoid being trapped in all those camps by being constructively active. All right. Let's go this way. Twitch. If you mean that the community can improve because one member wants better, that's true, that can happen. But for that to actually happen, there must be movement. Things have to be done. You get me? And that's the thing often in the world. People talk about the issues. They admit the issues are there. They admit something needs to be done about it, but they don't collectively actively do something about them. And when things get way out of hand, now they all become like toddlers and want to escalate. That's what they do. And that's why we're told by the Heavenly Father not to be unequally yoked with unbelievers. Because these people, they allow things to get worse over and over again. And the moment things get worse, and now it's too hard for them to deal with it, now they want some type of outlet. And that's where politics come in, because if a meltdown happens, it's just going to look very bad. So, do you understand now how important it is to be active in the community? Let me know in the live chat. No, I shouldn't be over here. Do you understand how important that is? Because a lot of people are delusional into thinking, oh, you don't have to participate in the community, you can't just be left alone, doing your private life bullshit. Yeah, I call it private life bullshit, and things are going to be fine. No, it's not. It's not. So, That is why I always tell you, saints, to be flexible and to examine the context of something. I mean, just think about it. You have this community, okay? Let's say a lot of fatherless homes in the community, okay? Let's say you're a man, okay? And you see a lot of fatherless homes. Now, the world will say, well, you didn't father those children, so it's none of your business. Now, no. Let's say you live in a neighborhood with a lot of fatherless homes because the dads just want to go drinking, or they are just fornicating around, or do some other type of bullshit that doesn't help the community. And let's say now that you realize a lot of fatherless homes, but you think, oh, it's not my problem, none of my business, I just want to be left alone, blah, blah, blah. Okay. 10 years later, while you live in the same community, now you have youth gangs. Because those little boys without fathers in their houses, they found a substitute family where they hoped to escape from abuse. And this substitute family became this youth gang. So now you have this youth gang that's active in the community, and this youth gang attracts other youth gangs. So now you have clashes between youth gangs in the community. And another 5 years later, when they're all in their 20s, now you have actual gangs that are fighting gang wars. Now, so within 15 years, it went from a lot of fatherless homes towards gangs fighting out their territory wars in the streets. Now, just think about the following for a moment. 15 years earlier, when you were in your 20s and saw a lot of fatherless homes. Now, you could not have prevented the fatherless homes. Okay, that's not what we're going to talk about. Absolutely not. You weren't able to do that. But what you were able to do is you could have decided, you know what? Let me become a public figure locally to be an inspiration figure for those boys over here. Even though their dads are not around, let me be this community figure that's there for those boys. If you would have done that, then likely much of the gang violence would not have happened. But that's the thing about worldlings. They see an issue, they see that something needs to be done about it, but often they just don't want to get involved in the solution. And then the thing gets worse. It's only when you hear that people are being shot over and over again, or when you see that dead bodies appear due to gang violence, it's not that people going to get fed up thinking, oh Lord, what's going on? Something needs to be done about this. But then people are going to think, but hold on a minute. Those guys that end up in youth gangs and ended up there, how did they end up in youth gangs? Where were all the sport clubs they could have joined? Where were the musical clubs? Where were the churches? Where were the social organizations that should have picked up those boys when their families were broken? Those boys came out of broken families. That was not their fault. The community should have intervened by investing in those boys back then. Oh, they didn't have because people didn't like to be involved, just want to be left alone. Okay, so now it has evolved into worse. Okay? Look, it's not about undoing the bad situation because you don't have the ability to undo the bad situation. No, you don't. So nobody's going to expect you to undo the situation. No, you can't. But you can contribute to de-escalation of the situation. And even that, worldlings are reluctant to do. Okay? I don't tell you if you're a man to become the stepfather of 40, 50 boys from broken homes. No, you can't do that. Mentally, you can't handle that. Likely, you probably aren't able to handle it mentally either. Because you have 50 boys from all types of difficult backgrounds. No. What you can do is start your own business, become prosperous, and let your testimony be loud in the community. And then those boys from broken homes will pick up your testimony, and that will shape them and inspire them. That's how you overruled the fact they came from a broken home without actually being involved with them directly. So you don't have to be personally involved with someone to have an impact on them. You don't have to personally be involved with someone in order to have a positive impact on their lives. By just being this prosperous public figure in the community, that alone will have a great impact on other people. Maybe, by the way, I'm going to the females very soon. Because the ladies can also do something about it. But I'm talking about the male examples. I'm going to the female examples very soon, ladies, so be patient. You being this prosperous man with your own little shop, or you being this musician that makes music all the time, you may think, oh, what type of influence I have? Well, maybe there's just a guy who's about to rob a store and turn into a criminal for life, and now he encounters you, and you're making music all the time, and you are in full confidence. That's going to have an impact on thinking, you know what? Let me put this account down. Let me check what this guy is doing. And because of that, you may prevent the homicide, you may prevent the decades of sorrows, you may prevent a lot of stuff in the community. But you as ladies, you can do something also. Okay, but what the ladies do is a bit different because ladies have feminine energy, which is a bit different, so we understand that. But let's say now that you're a female and you see that things going wrong in your community. Use your femininity as a contribution to the de-escalation. Become a role model for the men is not possible for you, but you can become a role model for the other females in the community. Because remember, femininity is important. So by you operating your femininity every day in public, that's going to inspire the other girls, the girls in the community, to be just like you. By being just like you, they will trigger the men to be more masculine. And that's how women can use their femininity to push back sexual confusion so that there's more sexuality in the community. So as a female, even though you are a female, doesn't mean you can't do anything. You can operate your femininity, and your femininity will inspire other women to be similar, and by doing that, the females together can hinder the sexual confusion that goes on. Such things you can and you should do. So, let me see. So both men and women, males and females, ought to operate in a constructive way in the community. That's how it should be. And once this happens, the community will be healthier. And that's why I'm telling you, people that only think about being left alone and they only think about shutting up disturbing news, they often end up as victims of the same issues that they were denying. When you don't face the issues in your community and you refuse to be part of the solution in a constructive way, you can only be part of the solution in a constructive way anyway, but when you refuse to participate in a solution, you are likely to end up a victim of the same stuff you're avoiding. Maybe you see that there are a lot of fatherless homes around you, or maybe you see that a lot of women are neglecting their children also. And you think, hey, that's not on me, I just want to be left alone, blah, blah, blah. And later on, you have this Jezebel woman who ends up harming the community using politics. But the same Jezebel woman used to be a little girl who used to be neglected by her mom. Oh, but you didn't want to intervene. You didn't want to do anything about it. This was none of your business. And now you end up being harmed by the same thing you refuse to attend to. People that are constructive often avoid becoming victims of the issues that are growing in the community. And you know what? When you refuse to be constructive in a community and you end up being victimized by the same issues that now have escalated and became worse, hey, that's justice. You participated in the violence. You did. And by participating in the violence, you contribute to things becoming worse. So because you contribute to things becoming worse, now you get your reward from the dark side. Namely, you're victimized by the same thing you helped growing. You are harmed by the same tumor you watered over time. That's how things go, saints. There is no such thing as being part of a community and not interested in the community. If you have no interest in something's wrong with you, make interest in the community. Become interested in other people's lives. You don't have to be deeply involved with them on a daily basis, but you should have at least a basic interest in the community around you. This narcissistic antisocial bullshit of privacy, private lives, it won't benefit anyone. It won't. And think about it. If someone never wants to show interest in you as a human being, and if someone always avoids you because they just want to be left alone, at some point you're going to get annoyed with that individual, because that same individual who avoids you and other people is the same who's going to complain when they are quote unquote bothered by the reality around them. And some people are literally going to beat you up. I don't have proof of that, but some people literally beat you up to teach you a lesson because you think you're too important to participate in the community. Now look, I'm not saying that you have to participate in every conflict. No, I'm not saying that you should participate in every situation. That's not even physically or mentally possible. I'm saying in the community, you should be doing your part that is constructive. When you do your part that's constructive, nobody can hold anything against you. But if you're not doing your part that's constructive, then you are making it very easy for folks to turn on you. As simple as that. And there are believers who are a bit foolish in this. Because there are believers who simply don't do their constructive part. And then, when the public turns on them, they're going to say, oh, I'm persecuted because of Christ's sake. Oh, Satan is on me. And demons are thinking, what? We're not onto you. We're not doing anything. You are neglecting your natural obligations to your human community by being so antisocial and narcissistic. And now that the public gets fed up with you and they act out against you, you're going to credit it to us? Okay, we will take the credit. You pretend like we demons are more powerful than we are. Okay, that's fine, but it's not us. And the Heavenly Father will tell you, hold on a minute. Do you say hi to people when you're on the street? Okay, if they look angry at you and say hi, okay, then that's on them. But do you even greet people that are on the street? Do you sometimes make a small talk with someone? Or are you active with your gifts, your talents in the community? No. Why not? Yeah, I don't know why not. I just don't want. I just don't like. I just will what I will. Okay. So you want to flee from everything in life, and you expect to be praised. You expect to be welcomed. And that's the thing about the Heavenly Father. He will address you and tell you need to cut it out. And the same thing I'm doing right here. A lot of believers simply need to cut it out. If you are not constructively active in the community, then don't expect to be harmony towards you. If you're doing the will of the Heavenly Father and they are persecuting you, then that's different. But do not be neglectful towards your community and expect there to be harmony towards you. That's not going to happen. It's as simple as that. And that's something a lot of believers need to learn. If you're not doing your constructive part of the community, do not expect any peace. Peace is something you operate in, not something you passively receive out of nowhere. It's Christ's peace you receive, and then you participate in His peace. A lot of believers are not participating in the peace that Christ gives them. So if you don't participate in the peace that Christ has given to you, why do you receive it anyway? Why do you receive something you're not using? So yes, that's what we need to learn as believers. You have to participate in His peace, using it in the community. All right? So, Are there any questions about this topic, please? Let me know in the live chat now. I still have time, so let me know in the live chat if you have any questions. I'm still here. The Lord is good. His mercy endureth forever. All right. If there are no further questions, thank you for watching this live stream. I may make another live stream later today, so you can watch out for that. But anyway, thanks for being here. I hope this has benefited you. Keep agreeing with Christ. Be at peace, and I'll see you next time.